And we're on Jazz Street with a couple people who don't need any introduction, but guess what? We'll do it anyways. Bill Dobbins, John Snieder, welcome back to Rochester. And Bill, congratulations again on another successful year at Eastman.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here again, Derrick, and great to have John Snieder here to play with Eastman Jazz Ensemble tomorrow night.
John, talk about your time at Eastman and what you learned and really how you've been able to use that and everything else you've been doing since.
Well, my career has taken so many turns, but it seems like every time I come back to Rochester, it reminds me of exactly how much I learned when I was here. I mean, this is my most formative years were 1987 through 1991 here, and this was my mentor. You know, this is the reason I came to Rochester, so it's a very special weekend for me coming up here. And my brother's here, you know. Pretty good. He's pretty good. Yeah. So,
for folks who don't know, John Snieder's brother is Bob Snieder, a longtime guitarist here in Rochester and a legendary Eastman alum as well. That said, talk about the show tomorrow night, and what does that show mean to you, the scholarship concert?
Well, it's a nice opportunity to hear the Eastman Youth Jazz Orchestra, which Howard Potter does a really great job with. They usually play a lot of Ellington material, sometimes some Mingus and some other things too. And it's always nice to bring back one of our many illustrious alumni to feature as a soloist with the band. So we're going to be playing a program, a combination of original compositions and arrangements from the students, and then featuring John on actually one arrangement of a student, Ben Britton, one of our grad saxophonists, of a Stan Getz blues line called Stan's Blues. And going to be doing a medley of Ellington tunes that I arranged called Tribute to the Duke. It has Love You Madly, Come Sunday, and Don't Mean a Thing. I originally did for Lou Soloff, but it's been played by a lot of different soloists since then, and I'm happy to have John here playing it tomorrow night. We're doing a arrangement that Mike Teitelbaum did, who's another former Eastman alumnus, great saxophonist who runs the jazz program down at Ithaca College now. It's one of the tunes from the Snieder Brothers record, Bob and John, called It Must Swing.
Right.
And so John can tell you a little bit about that, as well as about this other special piece that we're going to be premiering.
Yeah, we have a very special piece that I composed for a man called Louis Bannett. It's called Louis Bannett Jazz Survivor. And he was the Dutch Louis Armstrong. He was imprisoned at Auschwitz, and he basically survived by playing his horn when almost his entire extended family was exterminated. And he's just was an indomitable spirit who survived the camps and went on to have a very successful career in Toronto area, actually. But a friend of mine, Ken Schulman, is here, and he wrote a book about this very topic, so I wrote a piece about it, and it features me as well as a beautiful and wonderful violinist named Aga Davenport from Eastman. So very, very excited about that being premiered here at the Jazz Fest. So, and as far as the scholarship concert, it's the Jerry Nywood Scholarship, and I worked with Jerry briefly in New York and a few times with Chuck Mangione, and he was incredibly generous to all musicians, and especially my brother. So this is a very meaningful concert to be a part of. And
as happens tomorrow night here at Kodak Hall Eastman Theater. Again, John Snieder, Bill Dobbins, thank you so much. And before we let you go, Bill, what's your thoughts on the new show we have on Wednesday nights, Jazz at Eastman, taking shows from John's period, Bob's period, Chuck's period, Chuck Mangione's period? What's your takeaway from that?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for us to get to showcase so many different facets of the jazz program that we've had, and over the many years since the heyday in the late 60s and early 70s with Ray Wright, and then since I joined the faculty in 73, and the whole program has just expanded from initially just the master's degree program to now all the degrees with bachelor's and a DMA doctorate degree in jazz. And there'll be a lot of tie-ins, including some of the really world-class talent that's been associated with the school, including people like Marion McPartland, the great composer and arranger Alec Wilder, and many others. So besides showcasing from time to time the individual faculty members and some of our illustrious alumni like John and others. We'll also be featuring a lot of great musical personalities that some of whom weren't students here at the school, but they really have been a part of the Eastman community. And I think it's going to be a great series.
Bill Dobbins, John Snieder, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Derrick.